owners of the Copa America. That is Argentina. They will be playing Chile. Once again, the most intense matchup you could imagine on a global scale. It doesn't get any more tense than this. Last time they played, I called this, it's not a soccer match, it's a war. Every time this match happens, it's a war. It's so far beyond soccer, the history of these two nations, that you're watching something that goes beyond a soccer field. You're watching a lot of tension. You're watching a lot of release on a field, and it's both beautiful and terrifying and poetic at the same time. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for, not just from the perspective of this is a massive match that you should never miss, but also looking at the transition of the Argentinian national team. There's a special player who will not be playing this match, boys. And of course, that's Mr. Lionel Messi.
There's two, my friend. There are two special players who will not be playing this match. One is retired. One is soon to be retired. And that is
Di Maria.
Di Maria. That's massive to have him no longer be a part of this national team. He has, besides Messi, carried this attack for a very long time. He's been a superstar, the underrated superstar of this national team, oftentimes the best player for Argentina. He's not there anymore, and neither is Messi. And who knows if Messi's going to come back for this national team.
No, so that's a bit dramatic, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit dramatic, but he's been injured a lot lately. He's been injured a ton lately, and he's in a constant phase of coming back from injury. It's not good when you're 36 years old, man. You know it. How old are you, Rocky? 43?
Yeah, tell me about it. No, it's an interesting game. I don't fear so much as you do from the Argentinian perspective. We saw this Chilean team in Copa America. Honestly, well, they didn't look great. They look a team that's well past their prime. And Argentina, I think you forget, yes, Messi's the heartbeat, but they've won these tournaments because of the players around him, because what they've done in the unity and the system and the way they play together, and most crucially, how they defend. This team doesn't give up goals, and I think that's what matters, and that's why this team will be fine in this game against Chile, even without Messi.
So I'll make an interesting thing about this, because they won. So it's interesting because Argentina beat Colombia without Messi in the, after Messi left the match. But this is going to be interesting because at that point in time, Messi was on the bench. And so the presence of Messi was still there. Yep. Now he's not there at all. So Roycito, that's what I wanted to ask your perspective about. Do you think it matters? But Ra, you had a comment?
100 million%. 100 million%. Messi's impact, whether he's on the field, whether he's watching from the stands, whether he's sitting on the bench, just watching these players, his presence is felt. It's a spiritual thing. It's an emotional thing. It's a motivational thing. These players play for Messi. Let's be real. They play for the flag.
He's going to be watching the game from somewhere.
Be watching from home or from the stand.
Or whatever is going to float in somehow.
But it's different. It's different not having him in the locker room. It's different. I'm sure he will be in the locker room. But as time progresses and as Messi phases out, so does something very important to this team. So you guys saying they'll be fine without him? Sure. From a tactical perspective, on the field, they have the talent, but he brings something that we haven't had in generations in Argentina.
Of course. But
it's that motivation, that spiritual enhancement.
But Roy, he's not a vocal leader, number one. So they're not going to miss any vocal presence on the field. He's never been the vocal leader of this team. But the other thing I think, and this is the problem, is this narrative about Messi, which of course is fully deserved, and he is the greatest player that's ever played the game. The challenge is it takes some of the credit away from the rest of this team and how good they've been over the course of these three tournaments. That the role they've played has often been undersold to you. And it's told to you that Messi is the reason they've won these tournaments, and he's the only reason. He is the reason, but he's not the only reason.
I agree.
I think that's a fair point, because now it's going to be up to these players. Okay, now can Dibu, can DePaul, can these guys prove that, okay, they can take this team where where it needs to go? I agree with they've proved it in a sense, but to Roy's point, like there can always be this narrative that said, okay, well, Messi was still with the team. At this point, now it's like, all right, are you guys going to step up and get it done when he's not? Whatever external factors are just not there.
My concern is they'll get it done against Chile, of course, and they're going to be fine. But are they going to continue being the best team in the world without that inspiration, motivation, the spiritual thing that Messi brings, the emotional thing Messi brings? Are they going to be the best team in the world? Are they going to fight for each other in the same way? I don't know. It's going to be hard. But one thing that nobody here has mentioned about this Argentina team going into this, there are a couple of very, very interesting names on the roster this time around. One in particular, well, one for me as an MLS aficionado, there's Tati Castellanos, which is New York City FC's star forward. He made a move to Girona. He had a rough start in La Liga, and then he's been killing it for Lazio. So that's one. And then the return, do you guys know who's back? I think you guys know who's back for the national team. Can you guess?
Who we got?
Give us a position.
I'll give you a hint. He's been ostracized for a while. He's a player that should absolutely have been there over the past 10 years. Dybala.
Oh, he's my favorite. I can't honestly.
Dybala.
I never understood the hate that I felt was directed his way, or the lack of respect. I think he's an incredible player, and just because he plays a similar position to Messi, I felt that he got a little bit of the short end of the stick.
Yeah, it's tactical. I feel it's purely tactical, and people like to create drama. But to have him back, I think he's 30 or 31 now, so it's a bit late for him to come and lead this team potentially. But he's such a phenomenal player, such a crafty guy. He's incredible. He could lead an attack. So it's going to be nice to see him. I don't think he starts, but I think he plays some minutes against Chile, and it's just wonderful. And again, Tati, to see an MLS guy, to see a guy who's really fought from the bottom up to make it. And his goal was always, I want to play for Argentina. I want to play for Argentina one day. And people would laugh. He's playing for New York City FC. Like, what the hell? Your path is way too long. You got players playing for the biggest clubs in the world. You got Messi to compete with, and he's made it. He's got his call up that he's always dreamed of. He's been talking about it for 10 years. It's incredible to see.
Story.
Yeah, that is one quick thing before we finish here is Chile. We haven't really talked at all about Chile. We said they're past their prime or whatever like that.
We don't need
to. I mean, Roy being a resident Argentino, we do need to, because we probably have some Chileno listeners out there. How do they get back to at least somewhere closer to where they need to be?
Yeah, Roy, have you ever had the dish chile con carne?
I've had chile con carne, yeah.
This Chile team is chile sin carne. Would you say?
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
That's kind of good, right? Yeah.
What a brilliant joke. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, they need youth. They need youth, right? This is like they're just. I mean, okay, Alexi, as the one guy I think who still has it, and he's still. I don't even know how old Alexi is. What, mid-30s? But he plays like he's 22. Still an incredible player. But you have Edu Vargas. I mean, this team is old, and this is the cycle where you start to bring in young.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean, look, as Roy, you said last time, I think they're going to come into this match regardless of it being world champions or whatever, and they're going to give it their all, and it's going to be a tough match, probably, right? So, I mean, that's the case with Argentina, Chile always, but okay, it's different from where it was before. I don't think we had any solutions for the Chilean national team, but maybe next time we'll figure it out.
Be careful. Don't sleep on Chile. I mean, this is, as Roy said, this is a rivalry game, and anything can happen, and Chile will fight. The one thing they've shown us over the years is they will fight.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy in that Copa America game. It was Lautaro's goal, like super late, that won it for them, right?
Yeah,
so it's not
scary, man.
It wasn't an easy match. So, I was going to ask Roy and Rahi which line is better, Chilean or Argentine, but I think we're going to get a biased answer in this.
Which what is better?
Wine. Yeah.
Oh, wine. Argentinian.
Surprise, surprise.
Final answer.
Been to Chile, Roy? Been to Chile?
I have. I went last December. I was in Santiago for 3 days.
Did you wear your Messi jersey while you were there ever?
I didn't need to. The second people heard my accent,
they knew.
Nope. They knew.
Then the wait staff would take an extra hour to bring my food. My wine had little floaties in it. Yeah.